I guess I'll start and then we'll do the elections and...
Is that all right?
Yeah.
I think,
You want to do that?
yeah, I think we were going to sit that way. We're just trying to keep you out of the legal soup already, sir. Okay. Welcome, Eric.
Perfect.
It's good timing.
That doesn't mean you can't stay. That doesn't mean you have to go. If there's no chair there, there's no excuse.
Shorter chair. Okay.
I think we'll share. Do we not have enough?
We have a...
Another one out here.
Jane?
Pass that down to Eric.
There you go, sir. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Budget Committee meeting of this wonderful month of sunshine finally in April. It is at 7 o'clock. All members are present. The first thing I would like to say is congratulations to Mr. Brown, Ms. Alden, and Mr. Scanlon for their elections. Your stand is for 1 year?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Jane, 3 years on the Budget Committee. John was actually gone, as we kind of kid before the meeting, to the dark side. Is now a member of the Select Board. So at this point in time, John will be stepping down from the chairmanship of the Budget Committee and becoming the ex officio member of the Budget Committee from the Select Board.
That's right.
I'll be back.
So the first order of business will be the election of a new chair. So are there any nominations at this point in time?
I nominate Wayne Brock.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
Well, we could have done Jane in about another 2 minutes.
I'll vote for Wayne Brock.
Okay, any discussion? Further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the nomination, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. At this point in time, I hope it'll be an interesting year. Okay, meeting minutes. You have been given in a packet.
Vice chair.
Oh, vice chair, okay, we can, yeah, absolutely. I'm getting ahead of myself already. Any nominations for vice chair, because I now retire as the vice chair to the... Yeah.
I'll nominate Jane Alden.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous.
Believe it.
Thank you very much.
That's what you get for leaving the meeting.
Okay. Second order of business is the meeting minutes. In your packets are the meeting minutes from the March 12th, 2014 meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion from the board? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Next order of business is the vacancy selection process. Since Mr. Scanlon has now left our committee to join other things, we now have an open slot. Pat has offered to assist us in that selection process.
No, you put it out to the general public on the tape, and the Budget Committee actually appoints the person to fill the spot.
Okay. So please, if you know anybody that would like to join the board, please steer them to us so that we can... Would you prefer, Joanna, in writing from somebody or from someone just coming into the meeting?
Does not matter.
Does not matter, okay. So at this point in time, anyone that is interested, please steer them this way, and then we can sit down, discuss, and see where we can go.
I did.
We put it on the website too?
Yeah.
John?
I know, there were a couple other committees within the town that have vacancies.
Parks,
Parks has,
zoning, there's, You'll have to ask Jane, but I believe there's an alternate on the planning board, but I'm not sure. I don't have my computer with me, otherwise I'd look it up.
We have one alternate on the planning board right now.
Okay, so there's usually two
Yeah,
alternates.
there's usually two.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we have a full board, and then one alternate we'd like to have.
And I believe there's an alternate on the zoning.
Okay.
I don't know if maybe, well, maybe the chair could write a letter in the newspaper.
I could do that. I can do that.
How fun it is.
Yes, I wrote several letters for the school budget committee, and, yeah, well, I'm used to that. Yes, not a problem.
Not anybody coming on has to be a resident of Tilton, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, let's move on to town meeting feedback. As everyone was aware, we had a wonderful town meeting. Things went fairly smoothly. Were there's any discussion, feedback, or things we need to discuss?
There was something that I thought I read in minutes in the selectmen's meeting that didn't seem to happen in terms of the budget, changing line items or something.
The only thing that...
I think it had to do with the senior center. I thought we had to make a line adjustment for
No.
the roof or something. I thought we said that at this meeting. Okay, maybe.
No, we voted prior to that to have the roof done, and that comes out of the building maintenance, because it's a municipal building.
Yeah.
So that comes out of the town hall building maintenance.
But I thought there was like a $2,800 additional repair that was unexpected. And I thought
Yes.
there was a line item. I thought there was a notation in the selectmen's minutes to change the line item at the.
We were going to, but we decided that we would find the money. That's what we did. We were going to amend the budget at the
There were a couple of things that I thought were going to be changed, and they didn't. But I didn't read it until afterwards, so there's nothing you can do.
Okay, any further discussion or feedback? Tim is joining us this evening. He sent us a couple of emails with some materials. Correct, Tim? Would you like to talk about that? I got him in his mouth full, too.
These are draft. The department heads were going through these. I've gotten some feedback already, just some things that they'd like reclassified or to look at. But otherwise, there are a few lines that are that are already in danger of, for one reason or another, being overspent for the year. And there are some areas of the budget that are primarily spent early on in the year, like software. The majority of our software is paid out in January for the entire year. So if you look at the software line, it looks like it, that's how you would see it. But some of the other issues we just had higher professional services or legal services, which you'd see in some of the departments. So, other than that, it's still early on in the PD, primarily.
PD legal line is
Yep.
way overspent. It's about 30,000, and we only allocated 10.
We haven't processed everything yet that adds up to the 30, but it's coming. I think in here it's, I forget what it is exactly, but we have in-house, it's 12-something on this one, but we have over 30,000 in total that'll be paid out. So we're about 20,000 over.
Okay. You also provided us with a document of revenue and expense reconciliations?
Yep. What that is just so that you have something to tie the town meeting to the system-generated reports. And when you're looking at the total budget in the system-generated report, it gives you how we get from that to the town meeting piece. So what was added to the expense budget was the motion from the floor to increase the selectmen's salaries, and then also the warrant article that dealt with the collective bargaining agreement. All those cost items were in the operating budget, the salaries, retirement, that sort of thing. So when this budget is worked up that $26,141 and the $3,000 went into the operating budget. So that's how that worked out. And then the sewer is a pass-through, so we don't typically show it. It's 449,000 in, 449,000 out, and give or take an 8 or a 6 in the third position, accounting for a $200 difference.
How'd that happen?
That would have been me, I'm sure.
Thank you.
The revenues are estimated revenues anyway, so it really doesn't have any material impact to us. But that's how you get to those numbers.
Good. We also have in front of us the current expenditures, the budget at this point in time as of March, is it? March of 2014?
Yep, and this is January through March. So when you look at the detail, you'll see all the detail of expenditures, January, February, March, up through the end of March. And that's in the detail portion. In the summary portion, obviously, that is showing you a total through March. It's a little bit easier to read. And then I had hoped to have the police revolving fund and cruiser repairs available tonight, but I just received the repairs earlier today for the year-to-date, and other things going on here, so just didn't permit to get that. So for your next meeting, I'll have the normal standard report.
Good, thank you. Any questions, discussion from the board for Tim?
I had a couple. Really just, I look at as percentage and looking at, it would be sort of a quarterly report. Why are some salaries at 29%, 23%?
It would...
Well, like moderator, I get that. We had a, meeting for that.
Right.
So...
it depends whether someone is full-time or part-time, and then some compensation goes into the year-to-date expense. So if someone had a buyout or some other type of, might also skew it slightly. But as the year goes on, you'll see those come more in sync, and the full-time ones should be within a rounding percent of one another.
The other question I had was sanitation, just at 96%, is that one of those things that we pay off early in the year and it's a yearly thing, or is that something we can expect more?
Which particular?
Page 5, almost to the bottom, sanitation household hazard waste.
That, I believe, is, we pay it once a year for the household hazardous waste, and that's the one I'm thinking of. Let's see. I'm just looking at the detail here.
Yeah. And that's what I sort of assumed. I just wanted to ask.
Yep.
It wasn't something special that came up and we found...
No, it's paid once a year.
Yep. That's really the only questions I had.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
The highway budget, salt and sand we're halfway spent. I know, hopefully it's over for the season, and overtime seems high. If we had hate to say it, a natural disaster in the summer, for overtime, maybe we could figure it out later on. And it just seemed awfully high for. I mean, I know we had a brutal winter. Everything seemed to fall on.
Historically, the budget has always been higher than our actuals, and this year it's really going to push it right to the limit, I think. Depends, obviously what the winter holds, but...
Well, not going with it. I think we're done with this one.
Well, I mean,
It depends when it starts again next year, so...
Right, November, December, if we're lucky, we may get out of that okay. The prices, the per ton price of the bulk ice control, that actually has remained pretty stable, and sand is the materials are fairly inexpensive, but the number of times they had to go out, the length of overtime that they had was really, as we all know, the storms came one after another, and it was a lot of overtime.
Does Dennis's equipment get beat up? We plow Winter Street and Clark and all those. We don't plow those.
We do winter.
Yeah, are those roads brutal on the equipment this year?
He usually replaces the, I forgot what it's called, the bottom piece of the blade. Whatever that is.
Cutting edge.
Sidewalk machine got beat up.
The sidewalk machine took a beating.
I saw it stuck one time over on.
A couple of times it
A
got
couple of
stuck.
times it repaired part, it was down for a couple of days.
And they're going to actually have to do some tearing it apart and do some serious rework this summer, Arthur told me. So, get more life out of it.
And just as a note, in case you did just jinx us, I was in Vermont today. It was snowing when I pulled into the office. Not a lot,
Just enough.
but it was.
Good.
And they blamed me for bringing it.
John, any questions, discussion?
Yeah, I was wondering, did any of the outside agencies not collect any money last year? No?
I
Okay.
don't believe so. I think at year's end, I think they all had collected money.
Do we have a cutoff date for that? Is it January 1st if they don't get it? That
No.
money goes to the general fund?
Oh, yes, yeah. You mean from the prior year?
Yeah.
12/31, it lapses. Yeah, the appropriation would lapse.
Is that on the onus of us to get it to them, or is there something they have to do to get it?
Generally, they will request it. They don't always know what's been approved once the request has been put through. It just depends on the agency. But pretty much now, all of them are used to, knowing to ask or look or request. And the only other thing I try to do is on the larger ones, try to divvy it up into multiple payments if they're able to, so that it doesn't impact our cash flow as much. So there is one in here, I think, not sure.
B&A.
Well, I think it is that we paid half of B&A's in here. And the other half will be sometime this summer after our tax bills, we have the cash flow from the tax bills.
And I think we do have a public hearing on the detail fund scheduled for, do you remember?
24th.
The 24th. For the detail fund for purchasing police cruiser.
Cruiser.
Be on the 24th at 7.
No,
At,
it's at 6:30. One's at 6 and one's at 6:30. We have cable, franchise agreement, and one's, and then the police detail.
We have the cruiser, we have the cable one posted.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
Or do we have, is that our meeting?
that's the,
Select Board's meeting?
We have to have a meeting, anything over $500 expenditure from the detail fund, revolving fund.
Okay.
There's a public portion to that meeting.
We're buying a cruiser. We're just going to pay for the money's approved for, but we still have to have a public hearing.
And then, is that a Thursday or a Wednesday?
Thursday.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, I think I'm flying home on that Wednesday from vacation. It's like,
that's all I
John,
have
nothing
at the
else?
moment.
John?
No.
Eric, you look like you had a question.
Oh, I was just doing the wrong numbers in my head.
Okay. Pat?
Just so the Budget Committee knows that the second Thursday of each month, the PD and Highway come into the Select Board and will report to us. PD will report to us on maintenance, budget, cases, training. We have a long list for him to report on each second Thursday. And Highway also will come in and do the same thing, and tomorrow they're coming in, so you might want to take a look at the tape after.
Jim, I know this is a short report at this point in time. Are there any outstanding areas that we should be monitoring, as you can see, or is it too early to tell where there may be problems?
It's a little early to tell, and to be honest, I haven't had the time to really, as thoroughly as I'd like to, go through it. But aside from what I've already mentioned, the legal is probably the biggest concern. And just the fact that we do have a pretty tight budget this year. There's not a lot of room.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So with the highway issues that we've already discussed and legal, it's going to be challenging this year.
But have the new cruisers been purchased or ordered at this point in time?
After we have a public hearing.
That's what that public hearing is for.
Okay. But do we have a plan of which ones we're going to retire? Or at this point in time, or are we retiring them, or just
One.
retiring one?
Buying one.
Okay, and we're buying one and retiring one. Okay, so the fleet will stay the same number at this point in time.
That's correct.
That's correct.
And that would all be, if it's passed, that would all be out of the fund, that wouldn't be out of the budget?
No.
It's half out of, it's basically half and half.
In your line item, under PD,
Equipment maintenance.
equipment maintenance, we have half of a cruiser, the amount of half of a cruiser, the other amount is to be taken out of the detail fund.
Do we see the possibility of a lot more on that legal line item for the PD? How is that old cruiser doing?
It's retired already.
Oh.
Won't pass
Wouldn't
inspection.
pass inspection, yeah.
What was the line item for the cruiser?
It's 4210, I think it's 6 something.
Is it 620?
I think that's the vehicle maintenance line. There's actually an equipment purchase line.
It's not 660.
I got it.
660.
Just one, just
Equipment purchase, yeah.
Tim, sometimes these references say FIN PPA or something like that. There's like an entry, then there's a negative. Is it something that's just being spent for last year? I'll find one. I thought the natural gas. It's going under PD miscellaneous expense.
Okay. Okay, I'd have to take a look.
Well, we'll just admin.
FIN.PPA is the reference number.
What page are you on?
Oh, okay, that was a prior period adjustment made by finance, so there was something that, I'd have to find, any miscellaneous?
What page you on there?
29.
Okay.
There's a couple of them throughout there, I just didn't know what that acronym was.
For the reference.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what, that was a, retirement gift card. And
No, I just see that acronym used throughout the report, I just didn't know what it meant.
it's usually, that's usually an adjustment of some kind. So if something either was originally charged to a particular line and then moved, because it was either a donation or one thing or another.
Yeah, and you have down here too, natural gas.
You have it in natural gas, you have it for police department building improvements.
The,
Is it something that we got billed for in 2014 that should have been billed for in 2013?
not in all cases. I can give you a description of those. I'd have to go back and look at them. That particular one, the PD heat, that was a December natural gas. You can see in the description.
Yep.
So generally, we cut off the year right around the 15th of the month, and we're trying to be better about that, and get these invoices in. Some of these things are actually billed to credit cards, and so they come in very, very late. In fact, the natural gas supply is. The great news on natural gas and electricity is we have incredibly low rates with both, so we're still very fortunate on both of those. But, yeah, that's a prior period adjustment, so that got charged back to last year.
The new locker.
The new locker was, that was also done, same thing. That was a prior period. Christmas lights. Some of these things were encumbered and approved at the end of the year, but the bills just, came in, sometime after we had already cut off the year. Dennis was able to buy an incredible amount of discounted Christmas lights, like
After Christmas.
10 cents on the dollar or something between Lowe's and somewhere else. So, he basically really stretched the money and got a lot of them, so we'll have a good supply for some time.
Further questions from the Budget Committee?
I guess maybe Tim could turn the email address if you want to use that, because I cleared it out.
Yeah, actually, I'm trying not to have, we're bumping right up against our limit of email addresses without having to pay through the Tilton NH domain. So I was hoping not to have to add any additional right now, but
I'm comfortable with Franklin Pierce.
okay, and I'll certainly make sure that the Budget Committee email, the distribution list is, has the members,
Joanna will keep us straight.
Change mine to the town one.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I got anything.
Okay, any further questions or discussion on the current expenditures of March 2014? Okay, hearing none. Other business? I have two pieces of other business. Traditionally, John, you can chime in. Traditionally, we take the month of June off from the Budget Committee.
July.
June or July?
July?
July or August, I thought.
Generally, it's been July.
July.
Yeah.
Generally, it's in July? Okay, so that's why I like to be corrected. So does the committee want to continue with that tradition where we take the month of July off and come back? We'll be here May and then come back in August.
Be here in June.
Be here May,
In June.
June.
May,
and
June,
not
yeah.
July. Yep.
Well, usually May and June we're elsewhere with the police or highway or...
Yeah,
roving, going around to different locations.
yeah,
I think we did a lot of that also because we were new.
yeah. I still
I
think
like
that
it.
would be a
I
good
like
tradition
it.
to,
See what they got.
yeah. So if the committee is comfortable with that at this point in time, I will entertain a motion that we do not meet in July at this point in time. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion that we postpone, or definitely postpone the meeting for July.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? I would also, at this point in time, like to keep the tradition of visiting the PD and the
Public Works.
Highway Department in the months of May and June. I will get these right. Joanna, could you schedule those for us, or so that we can go around?
Particular one you would like to do first?
Highway.
We
Committee,
should do the
anyone?
PD in May, because June would be Bike Week and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we did the highway at Bike Week because we rode our bikes into that.
Yep. That sounds good.
So what I'm hearing is
Probably be easier for the police to
Right.
do it in May as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Police in May, June, and Highway in June.
Correct.
All right, good.
June and July off.
It was just July.
Plus June is the
They can do whatever they want.
race at the racetrack too, so it's a busy month
Yeah.
for...
The other thing I would like to bring forward is I was impressed with the participation of the Select Board over at the school district meeting. There are many of our Select Board members that came over to say, we need to think about some of these items that are going to possibly raise the taxes. So it was nice to see people showing up from the Select Board to voice opinions. There was some interesting opinions being voiced at that point in time, but it was nice to see that, and I think we need to see more of that. I would open the meeting up to a public forum, but there is nobody here from the public at this point in time, but there certainly was the opportunity. Is there any other business that has come before the Budget Committee? If not, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I have one question. When is our May meeting? Do you have a
We
calendar?
typically meet the second Wednesday.
Second Wednesday.
And Joanna...
I'll look at, I don't have my calendar on it, but I'll make a note of
The
it.
14th.
Joanna usually sends us a notice anyways, letting us know when and where.
It's the 14th, did you look it up?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? If there are no other further questions, entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you very much.